Welcome, everybody, and thank you for joining us for episode 32 of Insert Coin to Play. I am your host, Greg. With me, as always, is Cheech.
What's going on, guys?
And Ariel.
Yep.
So, I don't even know what to start off. We'll start off with Mass Effect. Cheech, you played Mass Effect, right?
Yep, I almost broke my computer.
Because if you've been going to NeoGAF and Kotaku and a bunch of other sites, there's a lot of broken GIFs and animation and just memes of this 10-hour trial that people have been getting into with Mass Effect. And I don't know, what the hell's up with that walk-in? Did you experience that yet, Cheech?
Honestly, I haven't experienced any issues with animation, believe it or not. That was my least of the problem.
To start it off, probably walk us through your experience actually playing the game.
I'm a Mass Effect fan, so I've been waiting for this shit to come out for a while, and it finally came out. It's here. I spent the $5, so you're welcome, EA, to get the trial and that thing going on. To get the trial to see what I'm up against. I wanted to pull it on PC because Riley get it to 60 frames per second. So I love the game. I'm excited. Started up. The game goes from 6 to 5 frames per second in a matter of seconds. I'm like, oh, all right. Well, it's happening. It's all right, man. It's just the beginning. Let's just get going. And basically, I mean, maybe the game-ready drivers will fix it. I don't know, but it seems like the game is not really well optimized for PC right now. So I'll probably be getting the game for PS4. I'm going to give it another go because what happened was I kind of raged and I removed my SSD, put it on my PS4 instead, so my PC is back to a hybrid drive. So I'm rebuilding it now. Poor baby. It's okay. It'll live. But based on the actual game, it starts slow. It definitely starts slow. I mean, just like Mass Effect 1, you're building a new story. Maybe people forgot about Mass Effect 1, or I don't know what's going on with it, but you're building a new story. It doesn't start freaking crazy right away. You're building a new story. You just woke up 600 years after being in Kairos sleep. I mean, this is kind of well-known information. Not much spoilers there. But anything after that, I mean, I won't go into details. But yes, you go into like the first world and whatnot, and it looks cool. There's a lot of effects going on. The gameplay of that game, I freaking love it. Like the fighting, the movement, I think it's on point. It's not like the stiff, like Mass Effect 1 to 3 was. It's fluid. I like it. I enjoyed it. And the story seems okay. Like I said, it's slow. I only played almost an hour and a half, 2 hours of it. It starts slow. It's building the story up. I mean, you don't start off like an N7, like our boy from ME1 and 3 was. You have to build that. The only thing is, my only disappointment was the performance. I couldn't get the game running at a stable 60 at my native resolution, and it just kind of bothered me, and I stopped it there.
Yeah, because your card is comparable with the 10 series. What, 1070?
Yeah.
1070, yeah, and yeah, I mean, I could run it at 60 FPS with the high presets, but that's using 1080p and then using the resolution scaling. It's not the same. It's not as clear. It's not as detailed. So I'm like, I guess Nvidia's doing one of those driver things. Who cares?
So you should have been able to do 1440.
Yeah, I should be able to.
With at 60, right? But it's just not supported.
I mean, it's just
not optimized.
Well, here's the thing: based on some of the benchmarks I'm seeing, for 1440, 1080 GTX 1080 is what you need.
Yeah,
you need a 1080.
Based on that's because the 1070 is not going to cut it. Doesn't seem to be the case. It's running natively at 1440 from some of the benchmarks I saw. So the 1080 is what consistently gets you 60 and locked and up in terms of frame rate at 1440. Now, the concerning thing though, in terms of performance, is not only does this game either optimized very shit or it's demanding to an extent, but in a video I was watching from GameSpot playing on the PlayStation, those same issues which you talked about yesterday, Cheech, during the cutscenes, were happening on PlayStation. Yeah, and it looks like it. And it looked like it was happening, like it was free. I'm not sure if it was freezing or like chopping up, and I'm like, oh, well, maybe this is just everywhere.
Because it seems like the PS4 base was having that issue. Apparently, I don't know about the Pro, but yeah, it seems like the cutscenes, they're the real hug here, because gameplay wise, I can maintain 60 most of the time. Even a native, I was gameplay wise, I was hopping between 50 and 60. It's just the scenes, and there's a lot of cutscenes. It's a friggin' RPG game. You're gonna get a lot of those, and some of those cutscenes also you get to make choices, and you see people like twitching and doing whatever. And it's like hitching, and then you're like, "What the heck is going on here?" Like yesterday, I went to the part of the story that was getting very good, and the game goes like it just dropped to 1 frame per second, and it just kept lagging, and I just freaking turned off the computer manually. And I'm like, fuck, I'm like, fuck this shit.
There's still hope out there, Cheech. And Video still has to drop that driver, so we'll see what happens. I don't expect to see a drastic improvement, though, to be honest.
Nah.
I think this is going to have to come down to BioWare fixing this shit.
Well, like,
with a patch.
Like, the funny thing is that nobody, and Cheech has pointed this out in our own personal chat that we have, it doesn't seem to be the case where people with a 10 series card are really complaining about performance.
Mm-hmm.
Not so much, at least. It's anybody with anything but that seems to be having issues.
So it'll be interesting.
PC gaming, you gotta always get the newest cards, right?
Mm-hmm. Gotta always drop that $700 every 6 months, boys.
Oh man, that's so much money. Well, Ariel, you're dropping that much soon, right?
As soon as freaking EVGA or Asus or any of these like partner companies release their custom cards, that doesn't seem to be anytime soon. I'm still waiting, man.
And then doesn't that come with a Mass Effect or no?
Right now it's the 10 series, so whatever was out. I don't know if, again, because those custom cards aren't out, I don't know if those are going to have Mass Effect along with the game, but it seems Nvidia's the one who kind of usually does the partner game. So I don't know if they're going to do that as of yet. It seems like the 1070, 1080, if you do it, you get the game.
Okay.
But I don't think right now the 1080 Ti Founder card, I don't think that's part of the promotion.
Yeah, it's not.
But yeah, I don't know. I want it, and I know I'm going to be disappointed. I just want something better now until the freaking Vega.
Volta. I was going to say Best Buy is giving it out now if you want to get the 1070. Right? Is that deal still going on?
Yeah, it's still going on. Yeah, it's still going on. I mean, go figure. Hey, let's get a deal with a 1070 car, even though the Ti should be matching it.
But I feel like 4K 60, like just the idea of 4K 60, like guaranteed.
That's not gonna happen.
Most games are gonna be. It's not gonna. I don't think it's gonna happen until Volta comes out or that generation of cards, because that's when you're gonna see closer to 60 frames on 4K on ultra settings. Even now, I was watching some people playing just Mass Effect in its current state with 4K res and then a GTX 1080 Ti, and that frame rate fluctuates anywhere from 45 frames, 40-ish frames, to like 70 or 80, and like it varies so much. It's not consistent. So it's like, it seems to be the case where you're going to have to drop it a high. Somebody commented that once he dropped it a high, he got, great freaking performance, but you know how everybody is. Everybody wants to run ultra.
It's going to be funny though, because this car has been the advertised. As a matter of fact, this car has been the game advertised. Like, every time you go any website, the NVIDIA website, this game is plastered on there as the car to use for 4K 60 FPS. And as a stand, it's not delivering it.
And another interesting thing to note, and I mean, you have to take things that developers say with a grain of salt. Prior to release or even the early access, one of the devs, or I think it was the producer behind the game, said that the 1080 Ti would be able to handle the 4K 60, and kind of made like put a smiling emote or a laughing emote or whatever. So maybe this driver is going to fix things. Usually that's not the case. You don't see that much of an improvement with them.
Yeah.
Well, for this one, we see an improvement. What is it, 35%? Or are you talking about?
I mean drivers in general.
They want up. Yeah, they want driver or game ready driver.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there's not too much of an performance boost, but it does steady whatever setting that you have it on. But we'll see. I'm kind of excited for Mass Effect because just like Cheech, I was a huge fan. Especially like Mass Effect 3. Me and Cheech were going back and forth about the ending. We were watching all these different YouTube videos.
The indoctrination rumors.
Oh my god, the indoctrination. I thought that shit was real.
Yeah,
that shit was real.
The guy came up with a really good theory. I think that much.
Did. I was like, yo, get out of here if this is true, man. And I think that's what kind of got people disappointed at the ending. That theory was so good that when they got the ending, they were like, but it wasn't that. Like, that was so much better. You know?
Yeah. It was just like, everything. He was actually really, like, partly indoctrinated, and it was, at the end, is, what was it? That when he was breathing, he actually finally broke the indoctrination, and then that's it? That's why they didn't show anything after that?
Something along those lines.
I want to see what happened with his story, though. I mean, because he made it. He was alive.
Supposedly, you have to play the DLC Citadel. The final DLC is I don't want to spoil it because it does have something important, and because of what happens in there, you kind of figure out what happened at the end of the battle. And I think that's where they fucked up really royally is since the Citadel came out later and you didn't really get a definitive ending. They did the whole pretty much what Capcom did with Azure's Wrath, where the true ending is in the DLC. And, that just fucked up everything.
See, Azure's Wrath, I played that game so late that I didn't even know that there was, like, any issue with it.
Well, but even the regular base game, you could see him live if you do the true ending. He twitched his hands. Or her hands, wherever you were playing.
Yeah, and their chest was breathing.
Yeah.
Like, you see it. But... That was a good story. I mean, that video that guy put together was about, 30 minutes long?
Yeah,
it was long.
It's a long video.
For those of you guys interested who never heard of this theory, just look up, I guess, Mass Effect indoctrination theory or something like that. It was really cool. Really fucking cool.
Yeah. And me and Ariel have, for this one, the Andromeda, we have the same feeling where it's just like...
We have our reservations.
Good. Yeah. We're trying to keep our expectations a little minimal just because of how they canceled the beta for the multiplayer beta was canceled.
That's what I'm gonna play. I'm re-downloading it right now because I'm just gonna play. Get the most out of this $5. I'm just gonna play multiplayer.
You gonna try the multiplayer? Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna try the multiplayer. At 20 FPS. Why not? Fuck it.
I don't know, I think it's a mixture of things with this game, and it's safe to say that we're all big Mass Effect fans. Mass Effect 1 through 3, easily one of my favorite games of all time, I would say, or franchises of all time. Like, just that story, that, connection between each game, the dialogue that you would have with each character, it was all very well, like, woven together,
I mean, Mass Effect 2 was groundbreaking in general.
Mass Effect 2 is hands down my favorite. My favorite by far. Just characterization, everything. And when we look at Mass Effect Andromeda, at least, for myself, I would say, I see this game that could be like, kind of go back to its roots and be like Mass Effect that it was, but then just from announcement to everything that's happening today, it's very concerning, to me at least. And that's why I'm apprehensive with the whole situation. Like, I want to be proven completely wrong. Like, I had nothing to worry about the minute I play this game.
I'll tell you one thing. There's a lot of customizations in there. Like, all the ME1 stuff that was there that was removed eventually afterwards, it's there. Like, you can customize everything, your weapon, your mods, your colors, everything. It's just there. All that stuff is back.
See, but something that people are touching on, which is a big and major part of Mass Effect, is both dialogue and narrative. And a lot of people seem to be complaining about it.
Hey, my face is tired.
This is like
the dialogue, of course, because it's only the beginning of the game. That tone and everything will probably carry on till the end. But in terms of storyline, it might get better. It actually,
I mean,
we don't know.
10 hours. It's not even 10 hours. You get like 6 because you're story locked at some point. It's not enough to judge this game at all. This is just the beginning of a whole new world, a whole new galaxy that you're stuck exploring. There's character building going on, and people were comparing some of the scenes to like other scenes of like that characters that already built up.
I feel like it's fair though, because from the beginning of Mass Effect 1, very quickly you're thrown into these situations where you're like, you want to know more. You want to know more of what's happening in this world. And the conversations that you're having with these characters intrigue you so much so that, you kind of get immersed in that experience. Early on, I mean, it's not like bombastic. Nothing, explosive or whatever like that is necessarily happening, even though you got into like battles early on. But there's enough there to kind of grab you. And
I don't know.
This game doesn't seem to be doing that right now.
Me recently just playing ME1, at least the beginning, I see them even in terms of story progressions right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because ME1 wasn't.
ME1 didn't
off the
start
track.
too crazy. Yeah, it starts pretty slow too. Because I was playing the other day, right before I played this, and the story progress seems even just about now. Because ME1, you say you're the only soldier alive from humanity. You just throw it in there, and then you randomly you're in a mission in this world, and you don't know what the fuck is going on with it. And then you got the whole killing thing that happens afterwards. Kind of similar here. You see, like, it starts almost identical.
Yeah, and Mass Effect 2 is where it was a bombshell. Because the first 10 minutes of it was like...
Oh, the first minute of Mass Effect 2, I was like, holy damn, what's going on here?
The credits could have just rolled and you'd be like...
That's it, done, I'm happy. I saw everything.
But,
I don't know.
Two had a really strong start. One had a slower start. So I can see this one. They kind of have to roll back a little because it's new characters. They have to.
Mm-hmm.
It's a new team. It's not an all Bioware. Just giving them a chance to grow up a little bit.
So, but
that's another thing I feel like with the storytelling so far, or at least the dialogue, or the way that the game is being written. Like, did the old team work with the new team and be like, this is kind of what makes Mass Effect in terms of conversations and the interactions that you have with the other characters? I don't know. I'm so concerned for this game, but I want it to be great, man. Because this game could make, I think it'll sell enough to keep Mass Effect going for sure.
Console will keep it alive. I'll tell you that much.
Well,
I think it'll sell enough to keep it going, but there's always because if Dragon Age 2 didn't kill fucking Dragon Age, I don't know what could have,
That's true.
So
let's make Let's make Mass Effect great again.
Well, Cheech, you're gonna play it right away when it comes out.
I'm still gonna play it. So
yeah, I'll have mine coming on Wednesday, and then I'll get your input before I actually even open it. And if you say it starts getting better, then I'll jump in. And Ariel, I'm guessing you're just gonna wait until you get your new video card, right?
To play it, yeah.
Hopefully Amazon chips it.
To decide whether I'm gonna. Well, I guess if it comes free, I have no choice. But if it doesn't, and I have to buy it, it's gonna come down to reviews for me, man.
I think this game is gonna get 80s, low 80s.
Reviews though, they haven't been too bad. It's only been like 3-4 negative out of a shitload of them that are good.
Yeah, about 4.
But they each, even if you look at the good ones, they all share certain things like in common in terms of what they found negative about those games.
I mean, animation's gonna be there. That's almost guaranteed. I mean, it's just. I didn't encounter some crazy shit that the GIF was showing. I didn't encounter any of that. Or like the one GIF that you're walking like you're taking a dump. So you're like, I didn't encounter any of that stuff. But I mean, I guess so. It's gonna happen. I'm gonna see some crap eventually. The one thing I notice is some of their rolling eyes. Sometimes I'm like, dude, what are you looking at? Like,
are the animations weirder than Horizon sometimes? Because Horizon is hit or miss, but there's times where it looks really good. On the facial animations.
Yeah.
From what you've seen so far, is it like of that same quality, or is it just not as good as Horizon?
They're a little worse.
Yeah.
A little worse.
Yeah, the official. Okay. I mean, I have seen some crap in Horizon. I just finished the game like just today. So I mean, I seen some stuff, and there was some stuff in Horizon, and I'm like, what is going on? Like, I'm talking to like a random NPC, and he just twitches his neck weird, and his eyes are rolling. I'm like, what's this? What's going on here? This guy having a seizure in front of me.
He saw Aloy and just had an orgasm.
It's like, oh my god, this outcast is so hot.
Redheads is his kryptonite.
But yeah, I mean, we'll see. I mean, it's too early to judge it. I mean, it's just too early. It starts, especially story-wise. You cannot judge this by 6 hours when it's just a huge open-world game. I mean, Mass Effects are technically, 50-hour games usually?
They're long. Yeah, they're long.
Yeah, something like that.
Speaking of 50 hours, I've actually put over 50 on Zelda already. and I still haven't beat a Divine Beast yet.
You serious, man?
Yeah.
That would make your life so much easier, man.
I know.
I
No,
mean,
I had a lot of fun exploring,
You're not gonna enjoy the Divine Beast when you play it at this point.
No,
you're just gonna steamroll it.
Exactly. Once I get that upgrade on my legs, I'm just gonna roll them. So, I was just having a lot of fun exploring, and at a certain point, actually, now I'm tired of exploring, so I should go beat them. But we'll talk about Zelda later because I still have some gripes on it. Everyone loves to give it perfect reviews. I'm not giving a perfect review.
I don't think it's a perfect game. I don't think it's a 10 out of 10 to be quite honest. I think it's higher than a 9 for me.
I think I'm the only one that can judge these two games.
Too.
I beat both of them already. Yeah. I'm allowed to speak of these two games right now.
Well, speaking of which, we don't do numbers, so I'm just gonna say you're gonna just give either a recommendation saying get it if you like this type of game, or
I mean, I recommend both of them. They're both good.
Yeah.
They're both open world games, but they're both unique and they're different in their own way. But I at the end when I finally beat Horizon, the story opened up very nicely, and it just all makes sense. And you can relate to it a little bit because it could happen in real life of all the crap that's going on in the world here. So it was pretty good. There's definitely probably Horizon 2, the way it ended. So eventually, Alloy and Alloy will be could be easily the next Sony mascot, and she will become their Zelda game. To be honest, it has that potential. It was pretty good.
Because since you were talking about a sequel, they did Guerrilla Games. They did an AMA.
Expansions coming up. Yep.
Yeah, they talked about DLCs coming out. That they're thinking about it, right? They didn't say that they were. It was just like
it ended kind of like what's gonna happen now type of ending that it keeps you intrigued. So let's see what happens.
See, Sony's put themselves in a interesting position, right? This is the way I see it, as like a strong female protagonist, iconic character. Whereas before, a lot of people kind of relied on Lara Croft, and especially with the new games out.
Mm-hmm.
They have not only Uncharted, which kind of rivals Tomb Raider. They kind of go back and forth in their whole action adventure platformer sort of gameplay. But now you have Horizon, which although it's a much bigger world, it kind of has that same element also. So it's like Sony could really not care about Tomb Raider anymore. Like whether they get it a year later or not or whatever. They really don't have anything. We got freaking Alloy. We're good.
Now you have bows. That's the game with the bows. And speaking of which, they celebrated selling 2.6 million. So for a new IP, that's really good.
They're doing really well.
Yeah.
I think Bloodborne
printing money
was 1 million in 2 months. I think it was like March and April. That's when it hit 1 million. So, and Bloodborne in itself is an excellent game. Like, I love Bloodborne.
But Horizon has larger mass appeal or broader appeal.
Yeah.
Where anybody could really get into that game.
Yeah, compared to the Soul series.
Yeah.
One website did a Metacritic rating, like of all the Soul series. So, Dark Souls 1, Demon Souls, and I think Dark Souls 3. They all actually came out to an 89 on Metacritic. Mm-hmm. Dark Souls 2 came out to a 91, and Bloodborne was like a 93.
What?
Yeah. Dark Souls 2.
Hell?
You know what also? Because I was thinking about that, it's like, Dark Souls 2, why is that higher? Dark Souls 2 was actually like the easiest out of all of them. Do you remember how easy?
But that was its problem.
Yeah, that was the problem. It was really easy. Or not really easy, but easy compared to all the other games.
Yeah. And it's not even like just its ease of use or anything like that. There was more to it than that. Just, how kind of disconnected the world kind of felt a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah,
it's a really good game, don't get me wrong. It just doesn't compare to the rest of the Souls games, in my opinion.
Yeah, the flow of the levels aren't the same as Dark Souls and Dark Souls 3. They had a better flow. Bloodborne has a really good flow in terms of the interconnectivity of all the different areas. Dark Souls 2 was it was very. It was weird. It's like one way because you had a hub and then it was all branched out from there, and you kind of and from that they didn't really kind of interconnect, so you couldn't find a hidden pathway to go from one end to the other. So that's what kind of made it a little bit boring. But yeah, well, so I'm going back to Zelda. Well, this picture is hilarious. What the hell's happening with his eyes? Ariel, go check on the picture that Cheech linked.
It's just
I'll put that
it just thinks
in
that
comments,
people forget about Mass Effect
so
2.
Everyone can see it later on.
And 1 and 3. They all have simulations too.
I don't remember.
Oh, I remember these pictures actually. What we're looking at right now is a picture of, I guess, Liara and Shepard. And Shepard's eyes are bugged out where it looks very creepy.
Yeah, that looks really bad.
No, but yeah, actually, I think this was Mass Effect 3, no? Or was this 2?
No.
Yeah, they're both 1. The one
this one's 1. This one's Mass Effect 1.
Are they?
Yeah, because this is...
you don't have to
this is when you're going through a little base. After you drive. Yeah.
I remember seeing the one where Shepard's head just kept spinning around. It was very weird.
Alright. So Zelda, this is why I'm just gonna go in. Why I hate the weapon system. I understand that the weapons break, that's fine. I didn't worry about that. Like, alright. There's actually a place every time the blood moon comes up, the weapons refresh, and you can just go to this place and pick up the weapons again. Mm-hmm. What really killed it for me and got me so angry was that, I worked hard to get the Master Sword, and I was hoping that was the only weapon that doesn't break. So because
did yours break? Did yours break, Craig?
It does break. That's the thing.
No,
it charges.
I was asking if you broke it.
I was so mad. I was just like, yeah, I'm using it, and then it's like low on energy. I was like, no, don't break, and shatter. I'm like, what the fuck? This is supposed to be the Master Sword. This is the sword in all the games that you use it to beat Ganon, no matter what. There's no problem with this sword, and this happens to the sword.
But that's what it's meant for. It's not meant to be used around the open world because it's gonna break. But when you use it on like corruptions and whatnot, you're a god. It
corrupted.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to freaking break because I use it on boss left and right. It just lasts the fucking whole fight.
It lasts a good amount. I've used it on those corruption guardians, the ones with the lasers with many legs, whatever. I forgot what they're called. And yeah, it doubles the strength. I'm wearing the attack up armor, and I just wail on them and just kill them quickly. The fact that it breaks,
my Master Sword's
I hate it so much. It pisses me off.
I'm with you, Greg, man. I was actually complaining about this yesterday, I think. Where I'm like, I get the whole weapon degradation bullshit, but at the same time, it's really annoying. Granted, you could pick up any weapon anywhere and all that stuff. It's all good. But just the fact that, you have a certain amount of weapons, depending on how many slots you've unlocked, and it's well, I gotta watch out for this one, or I gotta make sure I don't use this one, because otherwise it's gonna break, and having to worry about all that stuff is annoying.
What you do is go to Woodland Tower, climb on top of the skull, and you get a Royal Claymore. And the strength on that is the
Royal weapons?
Yeah, I think it's 52.
It has some crazy weapons on I am.
No, it's 52.
So it's here's my thing, right? I always keep this in mind. I'm like, well, I can't use my Master Sword. I gotta keep that for Ganon or whatever. My Guardian weapons, the plasma weapons, I gotta save those in case I come across Guardians. Because you never know when you're gonna walk into what is it? Freaking shrine or something, or come across one on the road, and it's really good against them, so might as well save 1 or 2 for those. So that's 3 slots already taken up. I don't use my champion weapons, because I don't want them to break, and I don't want to have to freaking recreate them, so I don't use those. And it's oh god, what can I use?
You killed everything with the leaf.
Right? One boss, yeah.
Oh, that was Cheech, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That's
You
quite
killed the boss
depressing.
with a leaf and bombs.
But here's the thing, though. Even with that issue, because it bothers me too, Greg. It does. It really does. I still don't think it takes away from the greatness of that game. Because I feel like what it does really, really well, it does really well. You know?
Oh,
I'm just saying it's not a perfect game. That's all I'm saying.
No, I get that. I'm with you on that.
Yeah, maybe
I don't think it's
either. Just retarded.
And if all the standards of games of people complaining about frame rate and everything, and this
it
game
buckles
slows
down.
down at
Anytime there's grass, and if you have some
Anytime there's
some
grass,
shadow
yeah,
and
get out
air or wind, you're done. It just cripples.
Yeah. This is docked, of course.
So, or if there's a lot of enemies and there's trees, and if you're in the forest, just kills the frame rate. But frame rate is never too much of an issue. But I'm just saying it's not a perfect game.
It is, though. Like, it's really annoying when it tanks, man. Oh God, I hate it.
The exploration, it does really well in exploration
over.
and wonder, but no. And I think Jim from the Jimquisition, whatever. For the most part, I don't like him because I think people tend to overanalyze games.
What are you trying to say, Greg?
Not because.
What are you trying to say, man?
Not because of clicks or anything, or maybe they are doing it for clicks. That's why they are getting these bad scores. Because it's games. It's something minuscule. It's not that important in life. Games are for fun. And people shit on it just because maybe they want to get clicks or whatnot. But I have to really agree with him about what he was saying about the weapons and how it pulled him out of the game, and it does the same thing for me. It just pulls that experience. But I still recommend the game. The game is fantastic. That's the biggest gripe I have. That and the climbing, but you guys already explained that. I'm missing out because of the Divine Beast special powers or whatever you get from
Well, it just makes it easier to get to the top of anything, really. But I enjoy the climbing. I mean, like, my favorites, like, the sets I use the most are the full climbing gear and then the sneaking gear.
Yeah, I enjoy
just because it gives
too.
me added run speed
thing,
at night.
If Horizon had that we could climb everywhere, you heck one instead of just waiting for those little yellow edges, like Uncharted type of style. I'll love it even more because it just knowing that you could go anywhere, everywhere, no matter what it is. If it's a mountain, it creates the sense of exploration. If I had that in Horizon, I'm like, ooh, look at that mountain. You know why? Instead of like just teleporting to the next area, let me just run around and explore. Because that's why I barely use the whole teleportation things on Zelda, but I use the hell out of it in Horizon.
I used to tell. After a certain point when you start climbing everything, you get bored of climbing.
I still love it though.
But again, like I said, I put more than 50 plus hours in it. So after a while of climbing, I'm just like, I'm tired of this.
I know.
When it rains, I get upset.
Oh, that's one of the, like, I get it. Yeah, sure, it's gonna be slippery, but get this shit out of here because it's so frustrating.
I mean, you
really
can
have to wait
always
for
light
right
up
now?
a little
You're kidding
fire.
me, right?
And,
it's
No, yeah, and wait till the next day and all that crap.
how long is it?
I just feel like
it takes
it's
like 10
faster
seconds
just to
it takes.
It makes no sense. It makes no sense because it's
called. It's like 10 seconds just to freaking light up a fire instead of waiting there for like 10 minutes.
Like, I'm just gonna wait this, or I'll literally struggle to climb up that mountain until I get there, man. Because I'm like, oh god, here we go with the rain.
You put on your climbing gear, you climb for 4 seconds, you jump, and then you slide down a little, and then you climb for another 4 seconds and jump. You actually can beat it. I've had to teach myself how to do that, but you can.
Yeah,
beat
you
the
have
rain.
to do a few steps up, then jump.
Yeah.
You'll slide down, then do it again, whatever. But still, it's frustrating.
See, the rain I don't even mind too much. It rains, whatever. It doesn't even rain that frequently. It's really.
Oh god, what area was it? I think it's the Zora area.
Zora area is constantly raining.
Oh my god! That was annoying.
Still, I recommend the game. Go get it.
Yeah,
it's
definitely. Because my takeaway is, even with all these annoyances, it's still freaking great. It's still great.
Yeah.
And even the menu system I have an issue with, but whatever.
Yeah. So that's our take on Zelda. I think that's the final one. I don't think we'll talk about it after we beat it. But we'll talk
I
about
just want to say that I just beat Zelda. It was really good.
There's a little tournament going on Twitch.
Here just slacking, but I beat it.
Yeah,
of course.
Cheech.
I mean,
you recommend Zelda?
Do I recommend you buying a Switch because you play Zelda? Maybe not. But if you don't have a Wii U, then yes, buy the Switch and get Zelda. If you have a Wii U, hey, you're not, just buy the game and play it there.
Yeah.
This is another thing. I'll bring it up here, I guess. People are working on Simu, which they want to try to bring Zelda. Mm-hmm. What was it? The Wii U version of Zelda, right? To play on PC.
Oh, yeah, Breath of the Wild, yeah.
And
they got it running.
If you have a Wii U and you get that game, that's fine. I think that's totally fine if you want to play it on a PC. You get the best resolution, best frame rate. But if you don't have a Wii U and then you buy that, I think that's unethical. I'll break it down like that. Because Nintendo's such an enclosed system that any money that you give to them through the system or the games goes to creating these games. It's not like it's a third party.
Yeah.
So if you want them to keep on making these games, you kind of need to help support them. And the best way to support them is, one, either play it on the system or actually have the system if you plan to play it on something else.
Well, I mean, it's not like the PC emulated version is up and running fully either. It's still broken.
It's still broken, but it'll be up in a few months, right?
Yeah, I'm sure they'll get it going eventually.
But that's just my take. Back in the day, I would say back in my high school days and early college, I used to download a shitload of ROMs. So
I think everybody did back in our day.
Yeah, I'm no angel. I used to do that shit. I used to play Game Boy Advance games on my PC
all the time.
But you just get to a point. For this game, I think they said they had a team of 100 people that worked on it. That's been working on Breath of the Wild.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, and the game is so good, they deserve some support at least. But again, that's my take. If you're poor and you want to play, go for it. I'm not. I'm not here to judge you because I've done that same.
I mean,
shit.
Really, the only two ways to play this game is Wii U or Switch. I wouldn't even throw PC in there at all right now.
Well,
I don't see that version being ready for some time.
People are gonna work on it. I bet you it'll be ready in like 2 months.
Yeah, it's possible.
Don't they have already some of the other Wii U games like up and
running? They have a lot of them.
Oh yeah, they do. They definitely have some other ones, but I don't think the performance is definitely all the way there yet in terms of its emulation. But they're getting there pretty quick, to be quite honest, compared to the freaking PlayStation 3 emulation project that's still going on. They're trying. Most recently, I think it was Demon Souls, and God, I mean, it's great that they got it running, but it's been 10 years, and they're still not there.
Yeah, I saw the video. The frame rate is just worse than what it was on PS3. It's unplayable. They got it running, but it's unplayable, and they only got it running to the first boss.
That goes to show how hard it must have been to develop for that freaking console.
For the Cell? Yeah.
Yeah.
Or was it Cell?
The Cell processor.
Cell processor, yeah, that's what it's called. So, yeah. But, at least PC's getting from Xbox. They're getting that Xbox game service. And they're getting the PsNow with PS4 games. So does that mean we all get
more like Mass Effect?
No. No. Not at all.
Come on, Cheech, why not? What's so bad about PCs and Mass Effect? No. Well, at least Xbox, you have the ability to download the games, right? Isn't that what the service is?
Yeah, see, I feel like Microsoft is doing it right, where you actually have a copy of the game on your PC locally to an extent, even though it's CWP. The whole PlayStation Now service, it being something that you're streaming, you have nothing tangible in any way. and you're locked into whatever it is that it would run at a PlayStation. Like I tried out PlayStation Now with Nino Kuni on my PC, and it's fine, but it's like it's running 720p. The fuck is this? You know, like it's great that it's there, but not being able to have the options that you would want to get, like Microsoft is offering with Play Anywhere. The fact that you can just have a game and set it up whichever way, it takes away from it, and then it costs more too. So it's great that it's there. It's great that it's an option.
Yeah.
I feel like they should, if they're gonna do it, go all in.
This is the only thing that the Xbox service is not worrying, or maybe it is a little because the same thing for PlayStation. But this service, everyone's making such a big deal, and the fact that you can have a PC, but it's for like backward games. It's like games, Steam already has its flash sales, so all of that is ready. You get them all for mad cheap. Mm-hmm. And we don't know what games are coming on. They said they're going to have Xbox One games. But would you want to just use the service, or would you just want to wait for a sale and then just download it through Windows Store? Because, they said they want to bring it out with games that are like a new releases, but they didn't say that's what's going to happen at first.
And this is, what is it? The Xbox, the games, not games with gold, but the new games incentive that they have, not Play Anywhere, right?
No, yeah, this is the new one. This is the new service that they're doing where it's kind of like EA Access, where you have a catalog of games you can play and you can download them. But it's all like backward compatible games, and right now that's the most of the
Game Pass, right? That's what it's called.
Game Pass, yes.
Yeah.
Most of it is 360 games, and they said that they are supporting some Xbox One games.
But it will grow, I'm sure.
It was just Xbox,
is that going to be available on PC also, or is it just Xbox?
No, I thought
it was just Xbox.
Really? Because
Play Anywhere is what's PC, where if you get a certain copy of whatever game that's part of that service, you could get a PC copy of it also. But Game Pass, I think, is just going to be for Xbox. Where if you sign in, you get access to the backwards compatible games and whatever other games are part of it.
I was confusing it. They did, maybe because they did say they have Xbox One games. People were assuming it's some of the newer Xbox One games. But I mean, it'll probably get to that point. Like Forza Horizon 3. How that's Play Anywhere, and that's already linked to your account. So maybe when they get to that point, it'll be on both PC and Xbox. But maybe. For now, it's a lot of older games, right?
But even so, there's value there, because how much is it? $10?
Yeah, $10.
$10. Mm-hmm. $10, and I could go in and play Lost Odyssey again. That's enough for me, man.
But that's $10 a month, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like a renting service.
The value's there, though, because even if you play or
$10,
try out a few
get
games,
it done,
you kind of got your money's worth there. Yeah. There's more value in Game Pass.
Game Pass won't allow me to play Emmy early.
Because there's more variety.
Yeah. And EA Access is what, $5 a month? For how many games? Yeah. What, EA Access? Yeah, but I mean, like, how many of those come along?
I only did the $5 for this
Mass
one.
Effect, when was the last time you used it? Battlefield, maybe? It's like a friend of mine. He has it, or he's had it, and he really only uses it when FIFA comes out. And that's about it. But at least with Game Pass, there's value, I think. Huh?
Only when the new FIFA comes out, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a good service, but in terms of, I'm gonna say gamers like us, we always want to try to get the newer games. I mean, you instead of spending the $10 a month, you would spend that $10 on a new game like For Honor, or
definitely
Nier, or
because I guess because we're always forward thinking in terms of like all the new games coming out, you rarely ever get a chance to go back and play something from the past. I mean, MVC3 being the exception right now, but whatever. You know, that's more of like a side game that you can play whenever.
Yeah, because that's a fighting game.
In. Yeah. I don't know. I think it's both. I think both options are great to have on PC. I don't know so much about Game Pass because I'm not sure if that's completely compatible with PC. But they have Play Anywhere, and that's an option. So the more options you throw at PC, the better it gets. It's just I'd like to see that if you're gonna do it, just go all in, man. But then you kind of mess with exclusivity, and there's just too much.
Yeah, like it's like PsNow. How I was talking about that they should do what Amazon and Netflix does, where you're able to download it because that's what you want. You really want to download it to have the steady FPS. But of course, that makes it harder because, we were just talking about the cell processor.
Yeah, it's too complex. It's not
the emulation of like pure PS4
it's not even worth
games.
It'd be a crazy project for them to undertake.
Yeah, but that's what people want. Yeah.
You would never get an emulation
for, I guess, the PS4 games. If they're going to include PS4 games.
The PS3 cell
it's just too much work.
Way ahead of its time. I mean, it's still a goddamn good chipset to this point in age. It's just it's just too complex to develop.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember there was a. What was it? They punched up like a whole bunch of PS3s because of
the military.
How awesome the processor was. I think it was like some.
Shit, I mean, they were using it for freaking floating. What was it? Folding operations or whatever with PlayStation at home or not home. Folding with PlayStation or whatever it was called.
Floating point.
No,
yeah,
not
I don't know. I don't know what the heck. You okay?
Cancer
You're drunk?
research.
The beer kicking up already?
Oh,
folding at home.
I have no idea.
You guys never ran Damn, it was PS3 folding at home. That's what it was. Like you would run it if you're not playing your PlayStation if you want, and you can whatever kind of calculations that your PS3 was running would kind of contribute to the research that they were doing for, I think it was cancer. But yeah,
we were too busy playing WoW.
It was pretty good for that even. So.
Oh man, that's
I can't believe you guys have never heard of folding at home, man. That's crazy.
No, I have. Yeah, we were playing WoW for a good while. Last note, we'll end on a good note. Cheech finally saw Logan. I've seen Logan. Errol, you don't care for Marvel movies,
I don't know what
right?
I want to see this though. I've heard good things, but I've also heard
this is not
some not so good things.
Where's Martha?
So I don't know. I want to see it though.
A lot of good things. Yeah. Cheech, how do you like it?
Well, here's the thing, right? Because a friend of mine who went to see it, he told me that everybody talking so highly of this movie got him really freaking excited for it and like really hyped, so that when he went to see it, he was kind of let down a little. So his expectations were like, I guess, too high at that point. And he came away feeling like it was a little too open, like especially in the way that it ended.
No, it's not too open.
I think he said some things just didn't make sense or something. The way they try to connect them. I don't know. I definitely want to see the movie, though, because this is like the Wolverine movie we've all been waiting for since, X1?
Yes, yeah. I would say I thought it was slow at some parts, but overall, I think the action, the dialogue, even the dialogue when they had like the subtle comedy in it was just great.
I think it was the perfect send-off.
Like slow overall. Like I said, it did at one point, I think, but.
Yeah, I'm just glad this movie's doing really well. This and Deadpool, because hopefully they take the hint.
Yeah, I think
people
it was the
want to
perfect
see
send-off
more
for
mature stories out of these like characters. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Cheech, what were you saying?
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
Until he comes back for the next one.
Nah. He said this is his last one, but he wouldn't mind doing a cameo in an Avengers movie.
Oh, so he wants to be a part of the universe.
That's if Fox lets him. But he won't do a full-fledged movie like this, or how in even the other X-Men movies, he was pretty much the center of it. Like in Days of Future Past, he was.
Yeah, all the stories kind of revolved around him.
Yeah,
That's
so
fair.
he doesn't want that, but he wouldn't mind doing something like small. I think how Spider-Man did something small in Civil War. But that'd be cool. He can whoop ass beating up aliens. I can see that happening. But I think that's good. There wasn't too much news, so thanks everyone for listening to our show. Cheech, you have anything else you want to add? Yeah. Ariel?
I'm going to remain cautious with Mass Effect, man, that's all.
Speaking of which, next week we won't have a show. Cheech would be very, very deep into research of Mass Effect, so we can give you his full explanation and thoughts on it. While I'll be playing, actually, me and Ariel will be playing Nier, so we can give our thoughts on it. I will say though, the first stage of Nier, awesome. I'm really loving it, just how the first stage was.
That's good to hear.
Yeah. Part of the stage was part of the demo, but you'll see when you play it. But anyway, thanks again for listening. You can always email us at insertcointp@gmail.com. Don't forget to subscribe, like us on YouTube, Facebook, Libsyn, or follow us at Twitter at ICTOPLAY. Thanks again, everyone.